Caution, the show you are about to listen to is rated explicit. If your ears are sensitive to the F word, please don't listen to this podcast. If not, get ready to get kicked in the ass.
Do you have everything? Are you comfortable where you are in your life right now? Well, maybe a little too comfortable. We think you're ready for the serious shit. What you really need is a good kick in the ass. Welcome to The Momo Show, starring Momo from TheMomoZone and controversial radio personality, Eric Remy.
Hi everybody, welcome to show number 4 of The Momo Show. This podcast was taped on Wednesday, the 2nd of September, 2009.
Subjects covered on The Momo Show will include, but are not limited to, too many chefs in the soup, open your own restaurant, attention spans, stop switching the fucking subject, learning sacrifice and decision making, how to edit your life, and the other F words, failure, fear versus focus and fantasy.
What the fuck are you talking about?
This is Eric Remy. I'm the joyful host of this new series of show called The Momo Show, aka the Kick-Ass Motivator, now offered around the world in audio podcasts on iTunes. Please keep an open mind while listening to The Momo Show if you want to feel the full benefits of being kicked in the ass by YouTube's #1 Kick-Ass Motivator himself. Hi Momo, how was your week?
Great, Eric. Great. The sun is back. It is still here. And I got to tell you, I'm thrilled.
Yeah, and you took some time off this weekend.
I got to hang out up north with some friends of mine. And it was really cool because it's really hard for me to unplug. I'm a type A personality, workaholic. I can't get away from my computer.
I spoke to Krila. She told me that you took your laptop anyway out there.
When I was out in the middle of the desert in Death Valley, I had the laptop with a wireless card on it, and I was showing my friends where I was when I was in the middle of the desert, and I thought that was really cool.
You're chronic, man.
But besides that, oh man, yesterday, dude, I didn't tell you this, but I had like some kind of whack freak accident, man. I was like,
You did?
I was walking in the park, and all of a sudden, my ankle just like went clunk, and I hit the ground like a ton of bricks, just like you're standing, and then you're on your face. And my ankle's all swollen up and stuff, and I actually almost need a cane to walk. I didn't tell you this today, but I'm in a lot of pain. It doesn't look like. Oh, you pull it off. You got to be a pro, right?
Yeah, the show must go on, as they say.
All right.
Now let's kickstart the show.
You are listening to The Momo Show, and this is In Your Face.
This segment called In Your Face is made to discuss serious subject in a positive, no bullshit way in your face. First topic.
Too many chefs in the soup. Open your own restaurant.
That happens.
Oh yeah, man. Too many chefs in the soup. It's kind of like a bad kitchen. Over ingredients. Everybody's trying to perfect, over perfect, reinvent, tear it apart. Usually the first idea, that light bulb that comes up, that's where the essence of the idea lives. You know what I mean?
How come it ruins the recipe actually when there's too many chefs? You need one chef and one assistant chef.
Everything has its chain of command. When you're able to organize yourself and be efficient, people got to understand that you're the chef, here's my assistant chef, and then the assistant chef gets the people to do what he needs to do so that the whole thing runs smooth.
It not only works in the work side, but also in the family, like when we have priorities and responsibilities.
Families, relationships, a business, anything. Leadership is one of the hardest things to master.
How can I say to others, listen, I'm the chef. I am the one who's going to lead this?
Sometimes that's a little complicated because there's egos involved. But I think that if you're honest and you're straight and you tell it like it is, you got to set the rules straight from the beginning. The problem is when everybody thinks that they were equal chefs and then someone has to go take control and say, sorry, buddy, this is my restaurant and it's my name on the front. Then things can kind of go down. You got to be honest. You got to be straight and you just got to tell it like it is. If not, you might have to get rid of some assistant chefs.
Or if you have a leadership problem, leave it to someone else.
Leave it to someone else. Sometimes you're not necessarily the right person to front the thing, but you might be the business person. You might be the idea person. Everybody's got their own magic. You got to find that magic point, that tweak that you specialize in, and that becomes teamwork. And then you have a really great running kitchen that permits you to spit out great meals and make your clients really happy.
How to grasp leadership?
Leadership is something some people are born with. Not everybody can be a leader. That's why they say some people, they're sheeps and they're shepherds. You can't blame the sheep. There's nothing wrong with the sheep.
They're quite okay.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, they're beautiful animals. And without the sheep, the shepherds would have nothing to shepherd. Again, I'm going to say it's all about priority, a chain of command, and figuring out what it is the hell you want so that you know what you're even going to lead or open up a restaurant for.
What makes a good leader then?
A good leader is someone who listens, who does the research, and who knows how to take people to the next level. A leader is someone you want to follow, someone you want to trust,
That you respect.
and that is going to go out there and represent either your best interests or, the interests of something that you love. That to me is part of the qualities of a great leader. Sometimes you're born into the situation. Sometimes you have no choice but to be the leader. What if somebody passed something on to you and maybe it's not really in your genes, but you're stuck being the leader of this company that grandpa left to you for generations. It's been in the family for 200 years and you're going to be the guy who's going to fuck it up.
Can you read on it? Can you learn how to be a good boss?
I'm sure that you can go out there and you can find how to be a leader for dummies. But in the end, I think communication, a lot of the things that we've been talking about on all these shows, you have to be a great communicator to be a leader. Because if you're not going to lead nothing.
So first thing, you have to be a good communicator. Then you have to be respected. And you have to be a focused person.
Very focused, because you cannot lead if you don't know what you're leading for. And people can get tired of your leadership too, eh? You got to provide results. That's another thing. As a leader, people are looking up to you. You can easily disappoint them. If things are going to slow down and you're running a company or you're running a relationship, make sure to always tell the people around you that you're trying to lead. Keep them up to date. Keep them motivated. And don't forget to show you that you appreciate them. That's another thing. I'm a big fan of showing the people that work for you or the people that you're in a relationship with that you care. And by giving them initiatives, just showing them that you love them and you're thanking them for the amazing things they're doing to make your life that good.
What you do with someone, if I'm the chef, that's trying to backstab me to take that place.
Okay, well, now we're falling into the competition section. This happens. This hasn't happened too much to me in my life. I've always been pretty autonomous. I've always kind of ran my own business. I've only worked for people maybe 3 or 4 times in my life. Otherwise, I've always been my own boss, even when I was a kid.
Lemonade stand on a corner street or something like that?
Well, no, not really lemonade stand, but I had my own bike shop. At 8 years old, I was already making choppers and doing paint jobs, and I believe that I invented the BMX bike.
Could have been a millionaire out of it.
When you're a kid and you're wide-eyed and you want to change the world, I always want to change the world and do stuff. So
you didn't have to deal with this, but what if someone has to deal? What would be your solution then?
First of all, if you're the main boss, then you can fire this sucker. If you're, say, in charge, right, and there's somebody on top of you, and this person can kind of get your job, then you only have about 2 choices. Hopefully you have a good relationship with the person that's on top of you, and you can go up there and you can say, well, I seem to have a problem with this gentleman over here, or whoever the person is, because they're kind of going behind my back and they're trying to take my job. That's one approach. I'm a big direct fan of going right for the jugular when it comes to, hey, do we have a problem? Shall we discuss this now, or would you like to discuss this after dinner? The other thing, you can confront them right to his face. And you can say, dude, I have no idea what the hell you're trying to pull over here. There's room for the both of us. But if you think you're going to take my job, then you're going to have to be working pretty hard for it, because it's not going to work.
Okay, on a family level, how do you approach this?
On a family level, I can see that it would be a struggle, right, between, say, a man and a woman and, say, the children.
Or brothers and sisters could also be a struggle there.
The struggle for power can only generally achieve for what? I'm better than you are. I'm taking over dad's company because you're too stupid to run it. If you're in a relationship, it's the man that maybe makes the woman feel like, don't worry, I'm going to lead everything. And he always seems to know where he's driving, but she's always asking, do you know where you're going? You want to look at a map? And he says, no, I don't need to look at a map. I know exactly where I'm going, and then he gets lost. Then again, it's a leadership problem, and I don't believe in that. In my relationship, we're 1,000% equal.
Well, since I'm a good cook myself, if I cannot put my own ingredients in my soup, I make another soup.
Okay.
Do you understand? Yeah. You have to make a team, otherwise you're adversaries.
Exactly. Or we can eat together if we like the same thing.
It's a funny example, but I think it works. It images exactly how I think. A relationship of a leadership should work. Am I wrong?
No, you're 100% right. So the conclusion of this will be,
Get out of the kitchen if you cannot take the heat.
and everybody's got his place or her place in the particular situation. Sometimes you can be the leader, and sometimes you can be the follower, and it's okay to switch roles.
And never underestimate the second violinist in an orchestra. He's as important as the first one.
Oh yeah, it's like people who think that it's all about the quarterback. The team work and the team effort is what makes life the beautiful game that it actually is. You know, you got to respect that.
Second topic.
Attention spans. Stop switching the fucking subject.
Okay, dude, I got to tell you, this is
I like that subject.
This is one of my big pet peeves, okay? I don't know whether this has ever happened to you, okay? Let's say you're sitting in a conversation, you're talking with people, and you're all excited, you're going to tell them something. And you get into that conversation, and then bang, that person, all of a sudden, right in the middle of your words, they look at their clock, and they turn around and they start talking about something else to someone else that's beside you.
I can take it.
Why do people do that?
It could be also a nervous tick.
When I see somebody that does that more than 2 or 3 times, you know what I do. I go for the cutoff syndrome.
It could be a lack of interest. You could be just a boring person.
Conversations and communicating with people is about timing. I believe that when you're having the right kind of conversation with somebody, that it needs to be a fair exchange. Again, it's like the cooking. You're sitting, you're eating a meal together, you want to have that conversation. So why the fuck, if I'm talking about you or I'm giving you some good up on yourself and stuff, then all of a sudden you just keep talking about yourself and you don't return the favor.
Okay, it's a groove, it's a wave.
Like you and I do on this show right here. Where you compliment each other, you talk each other, you listen to each other, you cover each other's ass when things are going to fall. But that's synchronicity. People don't, their minds, they shift, they go, they think. Dudes, stop thinking so much. Listen to what the person says and then add to the compliment and stick to the mood of the situation, you know?
Could be hard to that person to stay in the focus or in the present moment. It could be, they could have problems in their life.
Yeah, they could have problems. And in that case, I can understand that it might require a different approach. You know, I get a lot of letters from so many people that are just terrified to talk, and out of their own nerves, like shit blurts out of their mouth. They might say something kind of dumb or weird that they consider as strange.
It happened to me live on the air many times at the beginning of my career.
Hey, this is Momo, the ass motivator.
See that little word, how important it is?
Dude, I listen to that sometimes just by itself.
Just for listeners, it was my first intro on the Momo Show. I missed a word and the bastard put it on the air. It's okay.
Momo, the ass motivator.
But it can happen. See, nervousness, if you're preoccupied, if you're absent-minded for a second, could happen.
I have a kind of the opposite problem, okay? You also have to know when to say when. I'm a good listener. So if somebody's going to tell me their problems, I'm going to sit there, I'm going to listen.
And you're plugged right on that person.
And then I absorb that and I actually start feeling the pain and the whole thing. But sometimes I don't have the heart to when to say when is enough. So I'll sit here. I could sit here till 6 a.m. listening to somebody, and I got to go to work the next day. And
why don't you say, listen, I'm sorry, I'm out of it. Let's do this the next time.
It's something that I've been working on. I got to tell you, because everybody's got their defaults.
If you suffer of ADD, please don't make a complex out of it, because it is very hard for someone who has that condition to live with this, because people tell you, are you stupid? I just told you a couple of minutes ago. It is a condition, a mental condition where people don't have that memory.
I feel bad for the people that try and make these people feel bad, because come on, guys. If the guy's got ADD, try and help him out. To the guy who's got the ADD, instead of panicking and freaking out, I would just look at the person and say, sorry, man, sometimes I have problems remembering things. I got ADD. Maybe we can figure out a way to trigger my mind and make it happen. There's got to be things you can do.
Tricks.
Look, ADD may exist, all right? But I think that the media and the stigmas that people have just placed on each other all over the world, it's like they're morphing into that shit.
Stay focused, stay in a present moment. And if you can't, well, just try to find a way to get, be there for someone who's talking to you.
Yeah, be a little understanding, a little sympathetic on the situation, and try and recognize it.
Next topic.
Learning sacrifice and decision making. How to edit your life.
We do this every day, actually, in our work. We have to chop stuff that we would like to say or we'd like to put on the air, but you have to cut it. It's too long.
Sacrifice is such an important thing to A, getting motivated, even for communication. Because let's say you want to meet somebody and you want to sell them something or talk to them about something. If you don't learn to sacrifice all that shit that's in your head, you might say too much. Because you want to say everything at the same time.
And I always say that less is more.
Less is best, 1,000%. That's part of the problem. And the one place that taught me this the most, and I think it's something that you understand too from all the years of being in radio and being able to chop stuff and feeling timing and the rhythm of a natural conversation, is all my editing that I've done over the years. It's given me a natural ability to say, okay, this is gone, that's gone, this is what I need to make the message come through.
No bad feelings because you've cut it out.
Yeah, and sometimes, when people film themselves or record themselves or see something, they think, oh, no, it's all fucking good. There's no way it's all got to be good because I did it. It's like when you first start writing songs. Every song is amazing, and they hang on to it like it's the last fucking thing they're ever going to write.
So you can apply this on your day-to-day life. You just make cuts and you say, that doesn't fit in there.
It's got to be concise, and that involves everything. Your job, your relationship, your friend. Why? Is this not working this way? Let's try a crossfade on this and a re-edit. Boom. Reverse it. Inverse it. Do whatever it is you got to do. But make those little changes and re-edit the way you think. And it's as easy as all these great drag and drop programs that are out there right now.
And when it's cut, it's cut. Don't bring it back.
Very important what you're saying, because some people tend to live in the past. You got to live in the present. The past is for great memories. People who live in the past and hang on to their bad memories and drag it into their future, then these are people that can't move forward and advance and evolve.
It's like you say cement block shoes.
That's right. So the past is for, that was great. But the present is for what you're doing right now. And the future is all the amazing things you're going to create for yourself, because you understand how to edit out the shit you don't like and keep the stuff in the mix that makes you rock.
It's easy to say, but in action, in practice, and in my life, how do I edit this?
Everything is about components. You have a choice. You're going to have a barbecue and you want to eat steak. Well, you can go out and buy every kind of fucking steak you can get your hands on. Let's fucking get the whole meat chain in there. You know what I mean? That's confusing. It's too much stuff. You're going to get an indigestion and you're not going to be able to savor and appreciate. So I think it's important to decide your food group of what it is that you want. Your life, your relationship, your job, your friends. How come you keep sitting there when something's not working? Ask yourself the question, what's wrong? Is it me? Is it them? Am I just in the wrong fucking place at the wrong time?
And then chop
it off. Like, wait a minute, what's stopping you? What the fuck stops anybody from doing this? I'll tell you, it's the panic, the media, the things that make people live on this one word that starts with the letter F. And you know what it is? Fear. People love the word fear. They're addicted to fear.
Don't be fearful. Make the cuts that you need to do in your life to have a better life.
And you will not believe what this movie will look like.
Our next topic is
The other F words. Failure, fear versus focus and fantasy.
Are you coming back with that F word we had last week, Momo?
Well, you know what's cool about this? Like, fuck is not the only F word. The opposite of that is love. Love is also a 4-letter word.
Yes.
That's a very nice word, but boy, there's a lot of great 4-letter words out there. The other F words that we were talking about this week is failure, fear, focus, and fantasy.
Where did you find that out?
We were sitting here one night and I was listening to the F thing that we did last week, which I laugh in my sleep when I hear, Steph, man, you did such a great job.
And it's posted on YouTube. So failure, fear, focus, and fantasy.
Exactly. Failure is a big thing out there that I think a lot of people got hovering over their heads.
We are
Fear
fearful of failure.
If we fail, then we're in fear.
And we're fucked. Hey, I'm making this up.
I think if we play around with words, let's take the word focus, for instance. Focus is a way to pinpoint exactly something that you're trying to accomplish, which should, technically speaking, eliminate everything around you. Put you in kind of the cone of silence.
Yeah.
You got a bubble around you. You're focused. This is what you're doing, right?
You zero in.
At this stage of the game, fear should not even exist because you're that focused that it's going to cancel it out.
Okay. Does focusing eliminates fear?
When you're totally focused, it eliminates everything, because if you're focused enough, all you're thinking of is that exact thing that you're working on or that you're trying to accomplish. Nothing gets in the way. Not fear, nothing. People, the last thing they want to do is fail.
Yes.
As a matter of fact, fear of failure or fear of success, as we discussed in a show once, is out there and it's strong. I believe that if you fantasize, let's say you can't focus. So what do you do then? I say fantasize. What does fantasize mean?
Well, it depends. If you're talking about sex,
The kind of fantasy is this. Let's change the word up. Let's say dream it up.
well, you make yourself a nice picture of what you want.
Any great idea must come from something that pops up in your head, a dream, or something that appears, right? This, in my opinion, comes from the word fantasy. You fantasize about this thing. I'm using the word fantasy because fantasy is a magic word. It comes with connotations of sprinkles and fairies,
Disney.
and it's a Walt Disney kind of thing, right? So everybody wants that dream, that special thing that's surreal, but that can actually happen to them. Fantasize about what it is you want. Again, that's focusing, because when you're fantasizing, you're lost in that world and fear will not exist.
Let me just take this step by step again. You focus, then your fear goes away. It eliminates failure, and you fantasize about the end result.
If you're running on fear and you want to get rid of your fear, focus will eliminate, in my opinion, everything. Right?
Failure.
It will eliminate failure, eliminate fear, because at that point, when you're focusing, you can't fail because you're in the midst of making something happen.
Where the fantasies coming in there?
The fantasy to me is for the person who has that fear and that fear of failure and doesn't understand how to go there and get the focus. So what do? Because the word focus is like going to the gym. If you say to somebody, damn, let's start the focus, it's like a job that most people who sit on the couch and don't get nothing done, they're dreamers. They flip through the TV, they do their shit. So great. You're already used to sitting there and dreaming and doing nothing. So fantasize about a particular situation that you wish that you had. And while you're fantasizing, focus on that. Pinpoint that. At that stage of the game, you should be in your own purple little dinosaur bubble and nothing should matter. Now you've seen it, you felt it, get the fuck out of that state and act on it.
Okay, I've got it right now, Momo. I fantasize, I focus, it will take out failure and fear.
Exactly.
Man, I'm good.
Dude, I know you're good, man. You're fucking amazing. This is why we rock together, man.
Listen, if you would like to submit topics to be discussed in this portion of In Your Face, please write us to momo@themomozone.com.
Oh, yeah.
I think you're ready. You're ready for the serious shit.
The letters used in this segment of This Is Serious Shit are taken from the momozone.com email fan base. If you'd like Momo to choose your email to be answered on the air, please specify it and write to momo@momozone.com. First letter.
Hello there, Momo. My name is Mitch. I'm 18, and I was just inspired by your words of guidance to that young man, Devon. I am the same way, but I am more advanced in the stages of depression and hopelessness. I used to play football and even had a few football scholarships lined up, but that all changed on Friday, October 12th, 2007. My right hand was severed in an accident. I had 13 surgeries just to try saving it, which ranged from skin grafts to lateral flap, muscle, and nerve transplants. Since the accident, I haven't been the same. I wake up every morning just praying I would be killed. My girlfriend dumped me, and I can't even be in the same room with my family without breaking into angry, violent, and destructive arguments. My accident has torn the family apart. My father lived sports through me. I was his pro player, as he would say. Now, there's no sports, there's no father. My grades dropped significantly, which caused me to lose my mother. I am now addicted to pain medication, and I'm forming an addiction to alcohol. Please help. I feel I will just keep falling deeper and deeper. I would value your input over any psychologist in the world. Sincerely, Mitch.
That is deep, man.
Like you say, this is why we call this serious shit.
Yeah.
Dude, first of all, I want to give you my deepest energy going right to you, my friend. First of all, for writing me this letter and for being able to go through that. I can understand after all that why you would tend to turn to something else to try and ease the pain.
Yeah.
But dude, I'm sorry. We have to pull you out of this. There are tons of people out there with major disabilities that have reinvented themselves. You said you were going to have some football scholarships, so I would imagine that everything was all about football. Let's get to the root of the matter first. Let's talk about the family and the support thing. Eric, you who is a father, have you ever heard of something like this? I mean, you've been around, like the parents living, the sports through the child. I've seen this in rock and roll.
I know my kid is a hockey player, but I'm not realizing my fantasy true him. It's not my dream, it's his dream.
Yeah, but you're not a total sports freak. You know what
I'm
I mean?
not.
Okay, there are sport
Yeah, I know.
families out there
I've
that
seen them.
like, believe me.
Well, the first thing is that his father has to
Reconcile with him.
reconcile with his kid and say, that's the past. It's gone.
I'm a big cutoff fan, but when it comes to family, I do understand that is where we draw the line, and family is supposed to have some priority, and you're supposed to be able to go ahead and try and fix it. This, in my opinion, is fucking inexcusable. You do not treat a child that has been out there trying to do something, and God forbid something happens, and then you turn around and you're living through this, you're the child, and you turn them into the blame. I do not go for that. It pisses me off to a level where I would get on a fucking airplane with you right now and go sit down in that guy's living room and say, I think we need to talk.
Yeah, but he probably doesn't realize this.
I don't know, man, but the first thing you need to do is you need to sit down with your parents and you need to really tell them what you feel. If you haven't already, but if you have, you need to do it in a different way. You need to sound pretty much like you sounded in this letter. And you got to tell them, this is not right. I need your support so I can figure out how I can just heal and stop going into that direction. That's number one. Number two, I got to tell you, I don't know how bad your injury is. Depending on what you were going to do, I'm sure that on a football team, there are different positions that one can play that don't require the same use of one's hand. I would imagine if you're a quarterback, yes, it is very important for you to be able to grab the ball, throw it. But then there's blockers, right? There's all kinds of other people that play other positions that are not necessarily leaning towards the hand thing. What's the problem with leaning on that? What's the problem with possibly getting some kind of really interesting prosthetic? It's got to be done. I have seen amazing people.
And the technology is so much better now.
Dude, I saw last night when I was doing some research, a blind guy who climbed to the top of Mount Everest.
There's nothing impossible. It's true.
No, there is nothing impossible. But the problem is here is that he's been taken down and made feel worthless by the people that are supposed to be his bloodline. And I think that makes it rather hard.
That's the base. Otherwise, even if your father or your mother has these kinds of expectancy for your life and, you don't respond because you have that problem. He has also to pick himself up and say, listen, it's just a hand. I know it's not just a hand, but the life has to go on and he can have a fulfilled life without having that hand.
And it could have been a lot worse. I don't know the exact gravity of the hand, what you can or can't do anymore. But, I would love to know. Please write to me and give me a little more information so maybe I can help you get creative on this.
What about the pain meds?
Now, the pain meds is another thing. So are the pain meds there really because your injury creates such pain that you need them? You're saying you're getting addicted to them. You don't want to be mixing that shit with alcohol to boot.
No.
I can tell you right now, pills and alcohol do not work. And dude, I can feel you through your letter. I have this thing where I can feel people through their letters, and you are a good person, and I am telling you, you need to deal with it one step at a time. A, deal with this parent issue. That's deep-rooted. This is messing you up. Get that out of the way. Do it this weekend, and get back to me and let me know what happened. And after that, please write to me and tell me a little bit more about the situation and what it is you can't do. What position were you playing? This is not the end of the world. You still have your hand. I have a friend of mine, Bill Clements, who's a bass player, who has no arm.
And he's a bass player?
Dude, you should see this guy play. Bill Clements, guys, check him out on the internet. The one-arm bass player, and you will not believe how this guy rocks.
Don't you have another friend, John Denner?
John Denner, who calls himself Yoda Van Halen, who you can see him on YouTube if you type in John Denner or Yoda Van Halen. And he's a gentleman that gives amazing guitar courses. He has DVDs out, and he has a disability. It's something that he doesn't really talk about, something that he tries to just make kind of transparent, and you would never even really know, especially from hearing him play. But this guy really plays up a storm. He found a way to make this happen. You have to reinvent yourself at all times anyways, regardless of your injury.
You know what? We'll invite that John Denner on the show.
I would love to have John show up on the show.
Next letter.
Hey Momo, first of all, thank you so much for taking the time to read this. Your videos are a huge help, and right at a time when I was feeling so down and as if my life couldn't go on any longer, I discovered one of your videos on YouTube. I believe that it saved me that night. I had thoughts of suicide and wasn't in the best of places mentally, and it was like your video found its way to me. I don't think you'll ever truly realize how much you help people, and I just really wanted you to know that you helped save my life one night, and I'm really grateful for that. Now I have a question about something I hope you'll be able to help me with. I have to take a flight overseas next month to visit my brother, but I have a fear of flying. I didn't have this fear before, but since I've planned this trip and it's all set to go, I can't stop worrying about it falling out of the sky. I've been worrying myself sick about it. I'm sure you probably get to travel a lot. I just wanted to know if you have any tips to help me get my mind off it while I'm flying. I know that it is unlikely that the plane will crash, but I can't stop thinking about it. Also, I've been stressing about sitting in a plane full of strangers with no way out. I know this sounds crazy, but it's seriously getting to me. Am I just being crazy? What do you do to relax or to unwind? Don't stop doing what you're doing. You put a smile on faces around the world. Thanks, Jen, New Zealand.
She's afraid of flying, and I know that you are also afraid of flying, Momo.
Oh, dude, man. Look, I got to tell you, I was a late flyer, okay? When I was younger, I had opportunities to fly. My parents wanted to send me to Israel. My parents wanted to send me around the world, and I never went because of my terror of being on an airplane. So I think that one of the first times I went on an airplane, I must have been in my, I don't know, late 20s.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That late?
Oh, yeah. And the first airplane ride was one of these propeller planes,
No.
30-seater. And, dude, I sweated bullets because all you hear is... It's like you're riding in a giant lawnmower.
Bad start. You should have flown a jet.
I have been in a jet, and I've been in the cockpit, and I've been in a lot of places since then. So let's talk about some tips and tricks and how to kind of get around that. There's a couple of things that I do. The first one that I'm going to tell you, this is going to work 100%. Half an hour before you go on, you go to the drugstore, and you get yourself some Gravals, and you pop 2 of those half an hour before you're going to go on. And I assure you, it's going to make you kind of sleepy, and you will actually just relax and doze off, and you'll open up your eyes, and you'll already be there.
You know what is my solution?
No?
I'm not fearful, but it happened one time.
Okay.
I just bought these 2 little bottles of wine.
Yeah.
And I popped them
Oh, yeah?
right at the beginning.
Okay.
I was already in the air, but at least, my fear just went away.
You know what happens when you drink at heights, right? Like, if
You
you
get
drink...
so drunk.
By the time you hit the ground... Right? It's
I
like...
took a champagne, a trip from Montreal to Paris.
Yeah.
Actually, I just remember half of it.
The other thing that I like to do, I like to look at things head on. First thing, I always ask for a window seat because I want to look out the window. I push my face right up against the window and I stare at the runway as the plane is taking off. And as it's leaving the ground, even though I'm terrified that the floor only feels like it's 1 inch thick and we can go right through it, I stare into it. It's like going with the pain. It's like if you're giving birth, you're not going to pull in while the baby's trying to come out. So everybody's got to push together and everything's got to go forward. Lean into it. That helps you confront and deal with the fear.
Can I tell you, I usually take the last seat in the plane.
Yeah.
You know why?
Why?
Because the black box is not far from there, and they usually find the black box, and I say, if there's an accident, they'll probably find me there.
And you'll also be the last guy to hit, right? No, but the problem with the back of the plane is that's where the most turbulence happens,
Yes.
right?
Yeah,
If
it's
you're
a
going to
swingy
feel
place,
stuff.
yeah.
She also has a problem with being locked up with a bunch of strangers, right?
Yeah, claustrophobic.
Okay, listen, I hate hanging around with too many people being locked in a room too, but you know what? You might get lucky and sit next to a person that you can actually have a great conversation with.
Or use your laptop. You can use your laptop in the plane. That would probably, put your mind somewhere else.
The last thing I want to tell you, when you get those little bumpy rides and things, here's the new thing I've been doing that's really helped me a lot. I pretend that I'm in a Jeep riding on a dirt road. So, if you're riding on a bumpy road and stuff, right, you kind of feel everything in the car, but you're on the ground, right? But you know what? When you think that you're in a car up in the sky and the little bumps and the little shake is just part of the ride, it feels a lot better.
Or an amusement park. Could be a ride.
Exactly. I want to wish you an awesome flight. Don't forget to tell your brother that Eric and myself say, yo, man, what's going on? And please let us know how it went. Can't wait to hear.
Next letter.
Hi, Momo. Maybe you can help me with this. I'd rather stay anonymous if you don't mind. I have some serious panic about death, about the end of the world. I mean, it's quite obvious that something is wrong. I can feel it. So, my oldest fear came back, death. And I really started to think about the day I die, what comes after that? It's gotta be something after that. If it isn't, could it mean that we're just an accident? I mean, we are just alive, that's it, there's nothing else. That really creeps me and depresses me, and I cannot live thinking about that. I don't know, what do you think? Please answer me. You look like someone who has found a meaning to be here.
It's a common fear of dying.
Oh yeah, dude, I gotta tell you.
Do you have it?
Dude, I'm just getting over it over the last X amount of years, but it has been actually one of my worst phobias ever.
Then again, we have something in common because it was my phobia too.
Oh my God, dude. You know, I will always remember, I must have been like about 8 years old. And it was this little old lady that I can see from my backyard that always used to hang up her laundry. And then one day, I realized, wow, she wasn't hanging up her laundry anymore. So a couple of weeks went by, no lady hanging up the laundry. And I asked my mother, I said, hey, what happened to the old lady? And my mother said she died. And then I said, what's that?
You didn't know then?
No. And she actually told me that's, you go away. And I looked at my mother and I said, does that mean you're going to die one day?
Oh.
And she looks at me and she says, yes. And dude, I cried for 2 years. I don't think I ever really told anybody that, but it fucking blew my mind. I used to cry at night in my bed and fucking saying, my God, how am I going to live without my parents? This is awful. I'd rather die. You know, and then my father died when I was 15. And that fucked me up even more because he was like 42. And I said to myself, oh my Lord, I'm counting every single day until I'm 42 because I know the same thing's going to happen to me.
You think you're going to die at the same age.
Same thing kind of happened to you, right? With your mother.
Yeah, I thought it was 30.
There you go. So you said at 30, I'm going to die too.
And, you know, on my 30th birthday, the day after, I said, well, you know, I've beat that.
There you go. So besides that, I'm going to tell you a couple of things that I've done that I think is real interesting. The reason I do videos and the reason I got involved in this quest that we are on to help and motivate people around the world is partly for my fear of death. This has helped me come to peace with myself because I feel that part of fear of death is not knowing what your purpose is and what the fuck you're doing here. And you're just sitting there floating. So I figure if I document and I accomplish all the best things I can from now until the day I die, then what more can I ask for?
Makes sense. Somebody told me that fear of death is also fear of living.
Some people are alive and they hate being here and they just keep saying to themselves, damn, I can't wait till I'm dead because this earth is not for me. I felt like that. I kind of still feel like that sometimes in a kind of a different way where I feel like, oh my God, what more am I going to possibly see here that I haven't seen that makes me want to necessarily feel like I need to be here? Well, that's why I'm doing what I'm doing right now.
And you know what? The next day you say, oh, okay, that's that reason why I'm living.
I have this saying in a song that I wrote one time that goes, you're born, it makes you cry, you work until you die, and then you cry again, right?
What is that song?
Yeah.
Were you depressed when you wrote
Yeah,
this?
as a matter of fact,
Okay.
it was a very depressed song, but it was the truth, you understand? It shows that life is a cycle.
Yeah.
You're crying, oh, I'm so happy I have a beautiful new baby, and then the baby cries because he sees light for the first time, and the doctor spanks him in the ass, and then, wow, you work, you love, you do what you got to do, and then you die, and then everybody cries again. It's just this big vicious circle. So when I realize that we're body, we're flesh, if you can make peace with the fact that it is inevitable that we will come to an end and stop worrying about that, but worry about what you're going to do while you're here.
Yes.
Then your life has a kind of a purpose that makes death non-relevant. I will always remember the look in my grandfather's eyes. My grandmother died about 4 years ago. They were married for 75 years. And he had no idea she was dying. And bang, she died. And he looked into my eyes and he fell to his knees and he said, oh my God, my queen is gone and a king can't live without a queen. I fucking got so fucked up from that line and the look in his face, and it didn't take him more than a year and he was gone and he followed behind her.
Yeah, that's what usually happens.
But you know what? He had such a full life. And that guy did everything he ever wanted to. He was a great grandfather, accomplished so many things with some great kids and all the grandkids and cousins and whatnot. And you got to be proud for what you've done. So fill your life up with things. Do things for people.
Make it purposeful. How do you say this? Purposeful.
Purposeful. What the fuck does that mean, dude? I'm keeping this in the edit. This is staying in the edit. Purposeful. You sound like you're talking a whole other language. Give it purpose. Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah, but you say, when you say it, you know, purposeful.
Dude, I swear to God.
You know what? I fucked it.
Because
Let me just do it. Okay. Make your life something, you know, positive and you have a purpose to life.
Exactly. You got to fill it in. My entire concept now is for my end movie, my end credits. Everything I do is about filling up my hard drive with what I'm going to do for the end of my life. So that when I die, that movie is going to be rolling with the bloopers and the credits and the audience laughing and people. Dude, I've already got it figured out that I'm going to send thank thank you notes
Oh, yeah?
to all the people that are going to be alive when I'm dead that have been nice to me.
You've written this on your will?
It's going to be added.
You got these crazy ideas.
No, well, I have to. You have to show the respect. You know, if you can make a move, one more move after you're dead and you're in the ground and then boom, something happens that nobody expects.
Yeah.
Dude, you live on no matter what.
That's a showbiz exit.
For me, it's more than showbiz. It's not about entertainment. It's about pure appreciation.
Okay, but for that guy who was afraid of dying, basically, what does he do to take it out, to not fear that inevitable time and moment?
Appreciate life right now and do everything you've ever wanted to do like death didn't exist. You'll worry about death later on because you know what? If you keep worrying about death right now, then you can't live. It's made me a better person. I finally came to the understanding that if I died tomorrow, I'd be okay with it because I was lucky enough to have things that you can't even buy. Experience, Krila, hanging out and working with fucking people like you. How many friends and people do I know? Thousands of people, but I only have people on one hand, maybe one hand and a half that I can actually say lucky, and most people can't even do that. You know, that is what's important, Eric.
Live a rich life now.
Right now.
Next letter, this one.
Hey, Momo. How's life? I like your videos. They're always interesting to watch. And every video I watch of yours, I learn something new. And for that, I highly respect you. Not everyone can do what you do, and I'm glad I discovered you on YouTube. I have a problem which I feel everyone has. You seem like a very focused person, and that is my question. How do you stay focused? I always tend to get my stuff done, but sometimes, due to irrelevant events, I lose focus on what really matters. I know you have been through many ups and downs in your life. I was wondering if you can share any ways you stay focused when things go wrong. Thank you so much for taking the time to read this. P.S. You rock, dude.
Didn't we talk about focus or consistency a couple of weeks ago in the show? And this person is asking how to stay focused when everything goes wrong. Does it go the same way?
The guy is looking for some tips and tricks when things go wrong and irrelevant things. Okay, now that's a little bit different.
Okay, what's irrelevant for you?
Irrelevant is when shit just happens. So let's say you've made a commitment to do something. You're supposed to be there at a certain time, or you're supposed to accomplish something that you said to yourself or somebody else you were going to do, but you don't do it on time and you don't get there because, you got delayed. You made a pit stop at the McDonald's. I decided to eat a little burger here. I just bumped into this guy. I haven't seen him in a while. Hey, dude, let's go have a quick beer. And then before you know it, you're tired, you're fucked, you got to go to sleep, you're late, and your thing ain't get done, and it gets pushed over to the next day. These are the kind of irrelevant things that I think that a guy like this is talking about. To me, there is one way to fix that kind of stuff. You got to keep a tunnel vision. Focus to me, when you have a problem being focused, you have to go radical. Tunnel vision means you see nothing but the thing you're doing at the minute. That's it. Nothing.
Nothing exists otherwise than that.
That's right. Take the time. What do you want to build? A go-kart? You want to make a fucking cake? Figure out the time and place and get the ingredients to make that thing happen. And believe you me, don't pick up the phone. Don't answer no messages. Don't let anybody talk to you. Pretend that nothing else exists but that topic, okay?
But something could come up.
Look, unless the house blows up or something physically bad happens, no, it doesn't come up. You gotta stop reacting to random events and be active towards what you want.
You mean exterior elements?
Exactly. Because we all have exterior elements that pop up into our face every day.
Yeah, I gotta put some money in my, in my parker meter, otherwise I'm gonna have a ticket.
That's right. So
but that doesn't take out the focus I need now to do what I'm doing.
Exactly. And you'll find a way to make sure that that money goes in that meter, because if you don't, you're gonna get a ticket.
Yeah.
The other thing is focus. To me, it's like a hungry dog. When you hold a piece of steak, he's going to come right for this thing, right? Mm-hmm. And every time you pull out that steak, this dog is going to have that smile in his face, and he's going to do basically whatever you want to get that piece of steak. But he's focused.
Or he's focused on his bone. Have you ever seen a dog, munching on a bone?
You try taking away that bone.
That's it. He's going to bite you.
That dog is not thinking of anything else except for biting on that bone.
So we come up again with that present moment, that importance of staying right here, right now.
You have no choice. When people can't focus, I don't give a fuck if you tape your mother's cooking clock to your forehead, right?
I see the image. I'm sorry.
I know, but it's a good image. You give yourself deadlines, right? What does it take? It's going to take you 2 hours? Fuck it. Set it to 1 hour. Do it in 1 hour. Most people, they lose track of time. And not just that, they have to divide new time through available time and through time that has already been accounted for.
You lost me there.
If you have a job, if you have a relationship, if you have things that you have to do and you're trying to accomplish something new, like focus on something that you'd rather be that you're not right now, what do? If you can't organize your time, you're fucked.
Yeah.
Because it's all about time management as well.
Okay, so manage some time in your time.
That's right. Because everybody's got no time. Or they're doing nothing. You're either too busy or you think you're too busy. Or you're sitting there or you're doing nothing trying to figure out what you like because you say you like nothing. And you bitch because you say, fuck, I'm nothing. Well, because you are nothing. Because focus and getting something done is as close as you getting up off your ass and doing something. It's just that simple.
But if I don't have a job, if I don't have any purpose in life, can I set goals in my day just not to stay on my butt?
Yeah, it's called focus. Okay, so how do you focus? Why the fuck don't you sit on your butt at the right times and the rest of the times sit there and make 50 phone calls? Hang on a second. Do you know how many fucking emails I write a day? I write up to 500 emails a day sometimes. My arm falls off. I said that to somebody the other day and she said, are you crazy? Because that's a lot of emails.
Yeah.
Do you know that you could sit there and write 20, 30 emails a day easily? How long is that going to take? Fucking couple of hours.
Can even copy paste them.
That's right. You send 30 letters and you make 10 calls. Why aren't people doing that every day? Because you know what happens when you stir shit up? The dust comes up and you see what's underneath.
Action reaction again.
Again, the action reaction syndrome will all leak over to the focus.
For more kick-ass motivational tips, don't miss Momo's videos on youtube.com/TheMomoZone. If you'd like to submit your problem to Momo, please write to momo@TheMomoZone.com.
Now that you've gotten all jacked up, here is Momo's prescription of the week.
Like we say, it's the cherry on the sundae. You'll be the cherry.
I love Sundays,
Yeah,
dude.
me too.
I'll tell you a little trick that I love about cherries. Here's something I do when I get an ice cream that I think nobody does. I got a Dairy Queen right
Yeah,
here.
right in front of your place.
Okay, so check this out. Before the guy puts the ice cream in the cone, I say this. I said, dude, do me a favor. Go grab a couple of brownies,
And put them at the bottom? Or
a
what?
cherry, a little piece of banana, and just stuff it into the bottom of that cone, right? And before you put the ice cream in, right? And put some chocolate syrup too, right? And then what happens is when you get to the bottom of that cone, you have a sensory explosion, dude.
It's like an orgasm.
Exactly.
Okay, let's go back to that finishing touch of Momo on this show.
That one's going to be called
Loving the person in the mirror. This is so important and so hard to do.
Absolutely, because if you don't like yourself, then who the fuck is going to like you?
Yeah, true.
You know, when you get up in the morning and you look at yourself, if you don't like what you see, then what do?
You change it, but it's easier said than done.
Have you ever been to a point in your life where you get up, you look in the mirror and you say, damn, I don't like what I see?
Actually, right now, I'm just on that, on that verge.
To some people, it's physical, and then to some people, it's mental, right?
Yeah, me, it's physical.
What do you mean it's physical? Dude, I hate when you say that. No, you look great, dude. What the fuck are you
I'm
talking
around
about?
this. All guys are muscular now. They're all tan. I have like an overweight of 30 some pounds. It's not that bad. It's okay. I can live with it.
Dude, I beg to differ. Some people carry themselves fucking perfectly. You carry yourself perfectly, and you will go where God will take you and where you want to go, and I know that it's going to just happen.
Still, I have that feeling inside. You might as well forget what you say because, it comes from inside. So if you don't like what you see in the mirror, and like I'm telling you, I'm just on that verge, I just have to work a little bit more, walk a little bit more, eat a bit less, drink a little less wine. But what do?
There's times when I look at myself in the mirror and I say, damn, I am the ugliest son of a bitch I've ever seen. And I can't stand to look at myself. I'm just going to fucking lose it,
That's
And
getting old. It's okay.
I got to tell you, for guys who are getting older, we're really hanging on. We're doing our thing. I see a lot of people that are 10, 20 years younger than us. And boy, they look a lot worse than us, and they're doing a hell of a lot less.
Yeah, it's true. Well, it's mental.
The mental thing about looking in the mirror is really important. You got to learn to be nice to yourself. You got to learn to thank yourself for the little things that you try. You can't be so hard on yourself all the time, because when you keep looking at yourself, you say, fuck, I hate what I see.
Yeah,
I hate what I see. Well,
Yeah.
it's going to be like, a bad movie.
But you know what? I've been to your bathroom and you have a little mirror. I have a full-size wall mirror. That's hard to take.
It depends which bathroom, because the bathroom you went into, that's
Yeah.
the one with the toilet?
Yeah.
Well, that's not really a bathroom. That's a sitting place where you take a shit. It's got a very little mirror, but it's the other bathroom with a bath and the shower in. There's a pretty big mirror.
Oh, yeah, okay.
If you want to look different and you don't like what you see in the mirror, and let's say it's a physical reaction you're getting, you don't like the way you're looking.
Yeah.
You got to make a change. Okay. What do you need? A bit of exercise? There's this one exercise that I've been doing for the last little while, and I've been preaching this. And I'm going to tell you, it's the easiest thing, and it changes your life. The way you think, the way you feel, and the way you look. You want to know what it is?
How much money do you need?
No, I'm giving it to you for free because this is an awesome secret. And I don't know how many people actually do this, but I'm a big multitask thinker. I believe that you got to take your existing time and you got to multitask with it. So what I do every single day, I can't go to the gym anymore. I can't stand the idea of going into a gym with a bunch of sweaty people pushing heavy weights and stuff.
Pumping iron and stuff.
I used to be able to do that. My body is not letting me do that anymore. So I figured another way to get cut, rip, and stay in form, And this is what I do. I'll go for a walk around the block or to the park 2-3 times a day for maybe 15-20 minutes. But while I'm doing that, I squeeze my entire body and I suck in my abs, like my belly button goes right to my back, and I contract my arms, my legs, and my stomach while I'm walking, and I never let go. When you do that, I can't begin to tell you what happens. Your cardio goes up because your body is being pushed and things. You got to learn how to do that so that you don't look like an idiot, like you're walking around like you're the fucking Hulk,
Yeah.
right? But once you pass that and you just make it part of your thing, for instance, I'm sitting in a chair right now. Right now, I am squeezing as hard as I possibly can. Like most people would be blood red in the face. So what happens is your body naturally takes the shape. And I lost in the last 3-4 weeks, I don't know, maybe 15 pounds. 18, 20 pounds.
Just by doing that?
Look at my stomach.
Yeah, I know.
It's completely flat. You
Flat
know,
belly.
a couple of weeks ago, it was all the way out to here. Only because of that. And of course, I watch what I eat.
Yeah, Krila watch what you eat.
Remember, the food that you eat also decides how your mind is going to feel. So when you're eating bad food, well, you're going to want to eat more food, and you're not going to have the energy, and your mind is not going to be fed the right stuff, and you're not going to have the right thoughts because of it.
Sleeping is prime importance also. Because you know what? I gained weight because I was only doing 6-hour or 4 hours nights.
You know what? That is very true. There's a lot of research that has surfaced.
I've lost weight since I'm sleeping 8 hours a night.
There you go. If you sleep at least 8 hours a night, you will actually lose weight. That is a fact. And it's also, I think you got to do it at a certain time. You're lucky because you go to bed before midnight normally, right?
11:30 is my, I'm dead.
I think the rule is if you're in bed before midnight and you get 8 hours sleep, that's the best thing.
It's a good thing.
It's the opposite of what I do because I stay up till 4 or 5 in the morning.
Yeah.
Which I've been trying to change. But you got to be nice to yourself and you have to give yourself some treats.
This is if you have a physical problem, but imagine if you were third-degree burn. I saw someone yesterday. I tried to put myself in the shoes of that person. How do they live with themselves every time they look in the mirror?
Okay, well, when you're going to that level, it's a whole other level. A little more complicated because it's an aesthetic thing. You look at yourself in the mirror and you're going to see something you really don't want to see and going to worry about what other people are going to see, and people will definitely be staring at you.
Or if you're obese, morbidly obese.
First of all, you got to be serious to want to change. If you're serious enough to want to make a change, there is a solution for almost anything. If you're obese, you can go get your stomach stable.
Yeah, it cuts $5,000.
There is a way to make it happen. If it's important enough for you to make it happen, then you got to use all the stuff that you've got at your available resources in your mind and even people that you don't know to make that happen. That deciphers the men right from the boys, the people who go and make it happen.
But what if you cannot change that? You have to live with that.
If you have to live with that, I've seen a lot of people who have been really obese that have the wildest, most incredible, intense personality that I've ever seen.
It's true.
They're magic. You accept them for who and what they are. I mean, let's face it, if you're forced to accept and there's nothing you can do but be obese, look, in the back of your head, it's always going to probably bother you. But you have to learn to live with it because you're here.
So loving the person in the mirror is a process. You seduce yourself? Is it like a relationship you're going to have with your image? Because you know what? I tried that, okay? I look at myself and I smile. I say, you're nice. Nice hair, nice nice eyes. It seems like, I tie down my shoes and I feel a bit tight in my pen, and then I forget just all these words I just said a couple of minutes ago.
And you fall back.
Yeah.
Falling back is inevitable. Falling back is like a wave coming crashing back and then going back into the sea. It's going to come back. Staying strong is an art, and acceptance is another. You have to accept and move forward within the parameters and available resources that you have in order to make things better or more as you'd like to see them. That's all you can do. If you're limited by financial resources, money can always make anything happen. On that level, if you don't have the money to just flip out and make some changes, then you got to get creative about it. There's many alternative ways. The internet is a beautiful place to search people that have the same problems and other people who have come up with solutions.
You just could post a question there.
You can also get inspired. For me, all change and the reason you're going to change comes from either being fed up or getting inspired by something you saw or heard that triggers off the change. So the internet, it's audio, it's visual, it's everything. It saved my life, and it permits us to reach you guys.
So there's solution out there. You just have to find them and use them. So don't forget that Momo's prescription of the week is loving the person in the mirror, which means you. Before ending this show, I'd like to remind our listeners that you can join the Momo Show Facebook group, and you can also follow us on Twitter. If you have friends or family member that would need to get their life straightened up, don't hesitate to suggest them to download our weekly free podcast on iTunes. We will gladly kick them in the ass also. Next week on the Momo Show, we will be having as a guest David Bernard. He's a TV personality, life coach, certified NLP, and also an appreciated speaker and author of a book named Slow Down and Speed Up Your Success. In the meantime, we give you rendezvous next week.
If you have appreciated this free podcast of The Momo Show, don't forget to click on the subscribe button located in the iTunes menu of the show. Please take time to rate it on a scale of 1 to 5 stars. And why not add your comments? High marks will help us increase our ratings and visibility on iTunes top podcasts. And of course, we'll entice other podcasters like you to join in. If you need more kick in the ass, don't miss Momo's videos on YouTube at youtube.com/TheMomoZone. If you'd like to drop us a line, feel free to write to momo@themomozone.com.
On the behalf of Momo, this is Rick Remy inviting you for our next podcast of The Momo Show. Have yourself a kick-ass week, and thanks for your support.